are you?
What's behave? Define behave.
When we met in the hallway, he was very much more sophisticated. I'm glad he isn't.
Was I too serious?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You caught me on an off day.
I said, this is going to be one boring interview.
Did you really?
I thought.
Aw. There we are. There's the sexy panel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is it really true? Is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Hamilton Radio, guys. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smart ass than a dumbass, guys, because 32 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, 32 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now, I'm a smart ass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this. You know, we've all had the roughest few years of our lives, right? And a lot of people didn't make it, and a lot through addiction, including friends and family members of mine. So I want everyone out there to know someone is listening. I'm a recovery coach, and I'm a nutritional health coach, and I am here. All my services to you are free. And guys, if anyone thinks my book can help someone, because I do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing. It's on BAM, it's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, it's everywhere. You can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. And please subscribe to the Geri Petito Show YouTube channel. Guys, if you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book and really need it, reach out to me about that as well. I want to give a shout out to a few of my sponsors. We've got SOS for Life. They're doing their second annual benefit event, Christmas Feels Like Home. It's going to be held at Vinyl Lab in Nashville on December 9th, guys. And all their proceeds go to help children in need, and it doesn't matter what the need is, okay? Physically, mentally, whatever their need is, this money goes to help children. You can go to the website, www.christmasfeelslikehome.com, and www.sos4life.org. Go to that one as well, and you will see everything that they're doing. I want to give a shout out to another sponsor, Michael D'Amore. Okay, his website, www.michaeldamore.com. He is one of the greatest singers ever. So I'm an Elvis fan, so no one tops Elvis, right? But I've never said this about another entertainer. Here's Elvis, here's Michael. I'm not kidding you, he's off the charts, so check him out as well. And you can download his songs for $1.99. Then Brian Buckinfuso, we know him as Bucky in this township. He's a retired police officer, and he's running for Mercer County Sheriff. Guys, we need Bucky in office, Bucky for sheriff. Last but not least, Anthony Hudson. He's a presidential candidate, 2024, People Before Politics. Now, I want to just tell you a little bit about Anthony. He's nonpartisan, and one of the producers here, Ruben, and I got to go down to the borders, Yuma, Arizona, a few months ago. We were there with Border Patrol, with the Sheriff Department, with Anthony, with his staff. We got to witness everything firsthand. We were there early in the morning. We were there sometimes till 1 at night, okay? So, guys, it's important. This man has done more for us right now than even our own president. He's been to every single state that had hurricanes, floods, everything. He was there. okay? He's coming back here in September, live in studio again, and we've even done commercials for him. So I personally know him, and I'm here to vouch for him because he's a truck driver, okay? He's from another state, and he's a truck driver just like you and me, a regular person who just wants to do good, okay? So Anthony Hudson for president. Having said all that, okay, guys, you know I always bring it, right? Well, I'm really bringing it today. So for everyone who knows me, you have to know that I love doing shows with local people, especially incredible people that are doing some great stuff, okay? I have with us these three beautiful people. I'm going to let this guy right here do the proper introduction of their company and who they are. They are in the same building as we are here with Hamilton Radio. So, Joe, why don't you give your company and these girls a proper introduction?
All right, so my company, our company, Jennifer, my wife, next to me, we are JCOR, Health and Wellness. I am a personal trainer. Jennifer is a counselor and a life coach, health coach. Along with us that came for the ride is Angela Santoro, who is a nutritionist. So there's a long and a quick of it. I'll make the quick of it. I became a personal trainer. Wasn't my first pick. It was going to be a massage therapist. Talking to a massage therapist, I was briefly talked out of it because, well, I was a guy, and she kind of said that women wouldn't want to go to a guy.
Bull, but continue.
But
That's what I said.
you did say that. But suggested that I become a personal trainer, suggested a group, NASM, which I'm certified in. And I went and I did the program, and everything was great. And then we got to talking, and that's where JCOR kind of formed. We were looking for space. I was looking for a place to train. At first, I was just going to people's homes. But we decided to start a space. And so we found a space actually in Bordentown at an old industrial spot, the old Millworks. It was off the beaten path, so it really wasn't in the limelight. Nobody could really see it. Signage was mute, but word of mouth spread and business started. We had one room for counseling in that spot.
Oh, okay.
And then the rest was training. That's where Jenny was out of. And then eventually, through a reunion, I ran into Angela, and we got to talking, and
Yep.
Get close to your mic, sweetie.
Yes. At one of our high school reunions.
yeah. So we started talking about that, and I said, wow. I said, you got to get on board with this. And then she started seeing clients, and it moved on from there. What am I missing?
Can I jump in here?
Absolutely.
Yes, and then you can.
So I've been a mental health counselor for 25, 26 years. So along Joe's path of figuring out what he was really feeling passionate about, I was already doing mental health. And as we were kind of merging our forces, let's say, we really looked at wellness as something that needed to be mind and body.
Absolutely.
And so bringing Angela into our little fold here kind of worked out perfectly in terms of really trying to integrate aspects of a whole person and how that impacts overall health and more importantly, wellness. I personally feel like we do a good job in this country specifically at treating what's wrong or treating illness.
Band-Aids.
But we don't do a good job at figuring out how to be well.
Okay.
So,
Right.
so this is where we kind of do our little part of that, job in our little part of this world to help impart that wellness from mind and body.
Yeah, because the three of us, we all work together.
Yes.
We're all a piece of somebody's
Yes.
part of their body. Mind, physical,
Yes.
the fuel for the body.
Yep.
It all goes together. One, you could do it, but to be truly effective and successful, that whole trifecta really needs to happen, no matter what your goal is. I mean, even if you're coming off an injury, even if you have a specific sports goal, even if you're training for an Olympic event, It's all goes together. When one part is missing, you lack. So that was one of the things that when we started thinking about this, and from personal experience, I mean, I've roller coastered my whole life with weight. I mean, I've been over 300 pounds and I've been under 175. But a lot of that, one of the reasons why when the training part of it came into play, I got attracted to it because I never knew how to train. I never really understood how to eat either, which I'm guessing you see that on a day-to-day basis.
Day-to-day basis.
So,
Yep.
and then the mind part, if you're not focused, if you're not ready, if you're not within the stages of preparedness, the rest are going to suffer. You're going to go back to an old habit of ice cream on the couch because you have a favorite show, or I'm tired this morning because I was out drinking last night, so I'm not going to go to the gym kind of a thing. But unless you get it all flowing together, and it's tough. But the thing is that, and that's even when I tell my clients, it's like, okay, you had a mistake, something happened, let's go. Anytime is now. Anytime is now to get healthy, to get your mind ready, to get your body ready, to eat better. And say, okay, I had cake at a party, so what? Big deal. Don't eat cake every day.
Every day is not a party.
Right.
Every meal's not a party.
Right.
Sometimes breakfast, lunch, and dinner can be a party.
So now tell us a little bit about what you do.
So I have a
little
degree
closer, yeah.
as a registered dietitian nutritionist.
Okay.
So you have your bachelor's degree in food and nutrition, and then you have a year internship. So you're trained from infancy to the adult population in all disease states. So this is all evidence-based medicine, so nutrition therapy. And when my clients come to me, it's teaching them that gap, that role, because they're used to a diet. But if they want to be on a diet, then you have to follow that diet. But I'll support them, but they just have to learn how to support, let's say if they're on intermittent fasting, but then they're really not intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So it's educating them, well, this is what intermittent fasting is, and this is the protocol, how to follow it.
So I'm fascinated with all this because you guys don't really know much about me, but a lot of my followers do. So I'm 62 now, but when I was 30, I had 2 cancers. I was about 100 pounds, and I had breast, and then first colon, then breast came, okay? So I went away. I did not do the medical thing at all, and I went away and got certified in fasting. A man named George Malcolmus, and supposedly he's still with us, guys. George Malcolmus was told to go home and die. They couldn't help him anymore. He was sick like this, and he was, I'm assuming, 60-ish then. And his son said, let's look into fasting. So he developed this whole incredible fasting farm, and I went and studied under him. And I called the company, and I said, is he still alive? And they said, he's alive. This was about 5 years ago, alive and well and in Hawaii. And his son took over the company. So I was like, and now he has to be in his 80s. You know what I mean? So I brought in a home colonic system in my home. And I did a 60-day water fast, nothing but water. And it saved my life because I was not doing, I couldn't go the medical protocol. So I'm into all of that. I just love it. And now I'm getting older now, I'm relaxed a little bit, but I get it, and it's amazing. And what you guys are doing, especially for younger people, because they need to know we're all being lied to about so much, even with nutrition, even with food, what they're doing to our food, right? Everything in my home is organic, even my mattress, all my bedding, all my products. My daughter sells Pure Haven. We went to their labs. We drove 5 hours to make sure it was all on the up and up before we got involved. The products are 100%. It's amazing. But I've been organic for 30 years, everything in my home, so it's important. But I love that you guys are local and what you're doing.
Thank you.
So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So, okay, so let's start with you.
Yes.
Okay? So tell everyone a little bit about your journey as far as, like, when you were younger and growing up, what your thoughts were and how it led to this.
So, growing up, I grew up in Trenton. Was a kid who was always outside. I always played.
Okay?
That was my mother always said, I don't know how you bring in the amount of dirt on your body, kind of a thing. But I played hard. We always played hard. And we had alleyways in the back of the homes.
And I can attest to this.
Yeah.
We lived in the same
'Cause we
neighborhood
literally-
as well.
We literally grew up a street and a block away from each other.
Where did you guys live? What
Trenton,
So we grew up in Trenton. I was on South Cook.
Okay.
You were on Ardmore.
Ardmore.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we had a decent amount of space. So when we were younger, we had a safe place to play. So we were wiffle ball, kickball, release, tag, everything else. Always till the street lights went on. Right.
Yep.
Went through school. I played some sports. I played basketball. I played baseball. At that time, fitness was never a thing. I was always on the go. I always was eating. I was always starving too. And then it got to the point where my mom was even like, I got to teach you how to cook because I can't keep up with you, kind of a thing. And that might have been the start of it without knowing it when I learned how to cook. But high school came. I was a skateboarder, so I was always on the move. Then I started driving. That's when things started slowing down
Okay.
for me. I noticed that from after high school till I was 21 was the most weight I put on. That's when I was over 300 pounds.
Okay.
And I even had a buddy of mine tell me at one point, he goes, you're going to die. He goes, you got to stop.
Okay.
He wasn't being serious, but he was just trying to drive the point that, you know what, you're out of control. And then, I turned 21. I started partying. I had a job at UPS where I was working late. So then it went right from there to the bar, slept all day, repeat.
Okay.
Eating a lot, unhealthy, had no idea, and then that was the thing. And then up and down there, it would be like, you know what, I need to lose some weight. And then I would lose weight because I would just do it. And then I put it back on, and then I put it off. And then I got into running back in the late 2000s, 2009,
Kids were little, yeah.
2010, when my kids were little. I just started running like Forrest. And I lost a ton of weight, and then I was down to 170 pounds. I was a size medium, which was high school for me. I mean, it was crazy. But then again, didn't know how to eat. Everybody thought I was sick.
People would ask me all the time, is Joe okay?
They thought I was
'Cause you
sick.
dropped it like
Wow.
that.
I was gray in color.
Yeah.
And then it was like, all right, well, I guess I better start eating again, and just went right to the other side again. Put all that weight back on. And then when it was almost like time, because I work for the government. I've been there for 25 years.
Okay.
So then it was almost like
Wait, 1 second. What do you do for the government?
I'm a field coordinator, so I travel the road. So
Okay.
I drive in a car.
I just had to know. Okay,
Yeah.
continue.
No. So, which doesn't help, which is another thing. But it was almost like, what's my retirement going to be? I think I'm going to need something to do after retirement, because I'm going to retire, but I'm not going to stop working. And this was going to be like the transition thing.
Okay.
And that's where the business came into it as well.
Can I add, you
Always.
also needed something that you felt
Well,
passionate about,
Yeah.
because the day job was
Yeah.
depleting his spirit.
Yeah.
You know?
I could see that.
But when I trained, when I got certified, and when I continued with my credits, and then I learned how to do TRX and with the straps and the rip trainer and everything else, I really got psyched about how it moved the biomechanics of the body, and it was beyond what you see in a magazine. The world that is portrayed through a magazine, and even today, TikTok and Instagram and everything else, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And it was stuff like that. It's like stuff like that people are getting hurt from stuff like that. And I'm really concerned about that. I mean, that's actually still a concern of mine, because I believe, and I'm not taking anything away from how people train or what they believe
Okay,
in,
I
but
understand.
I believe in a functional approach for pretty much the average people. Right? Not everybody's going to be a bodybuilder. Not everybody's going to be able to have the discipline or the funds to fuel the food for that kind of routine, or have the time to spend in a gym pumping the iron that needs to happen to get a body like that. So for day to day, for somebody who's a parent who wants to keep up with their kids or wants to be able to bring in the groceries without huffing and puffing, that's what I believe. That's what I believe in. That's what I like to try to help people, and whatever injuries they went through. I mean, my oldest client's 73 years old, and he can throw a punch because I have him boxing. So
Oh, okay.
he's a tough dude. So, but that's pretty much how I got to this journey and this path. I will be honest and say I've had a little bit of discouragement recently because of the things that I've been seeing online, because it's flooded with too much, too quick, with no explanation, if that makes any kind of sense.
No, what are you,
So-
what topic?
So what I always try to, I always try to see what's going on, what's trending, and what people are into.
Okay.
And a lot of it has to do with these excessive movements to failure now. Now, if you're a bodybuilder and you need to grow your muscles, that's what you need to do. But anybody who's just getting in shape who sees that and tries that is going to get hurt. Because these are movements that are progressive movements that you're just not ready for. But because everything's so fast now, it seems like they don't need to have a disclaimer about it, so to speak.
Now
to
I
hold
get it.
accountability.
Okay.
So that's the stuff that I'm paying attention to. And I almost think that, like, because there's so much, people even get lost in the search of where do I go, who do I see, what do I do, what do I participate in, and where do I join? It's very confusing. I've never really promoted myself. Like, I've never really advertised. I did some social media stuff here and there and everything else, but it's mostly been word of mouth. But I noticed that it's just not there right now.
Okay.
So
Well, and I'll just put a plug in for Joe in saying that as a trainer, and I'm actually, like, as his wife, not biased, because I think husbands and wives kind of tend to see the most critical aspects of each other, I will have to say. As a trainer, his gift is really meeting a person where they are at and taking them gradually to the next level so that they do get to the goal, but do it in a safe way and do it in a way
Okay.
that's, going to be sustainable,
That's amazing, yes.
and fun.
Yeah.
And fun, because the boring repetition of doing the same thing every 3 days, every week, I wouldn't want to do it.
So, all right, I want you to answer one more question, then we'll go on to the ladies. How do you make that fun? Do you tell them, like, listen to certain fun music and be stupid?
So the fun happens where I always change the routine.
Okay.
I always change the modalities. So the modalities, whether they are TRX, whether they're medicine balls, ropes, and stuff like that. The fun part about it is the music. So we could change up the music whenever you need to. So it's always on, like, now it's always on the thumb. It's not like we have to listen to what's playing over the
Gotcha.
ceiling. It's,
All right.
well, I can kind of see, like, you need a little bit of push right now. So I'll play a song that's got a beat or a kick to it, or a guitar that's going to make you move, depending on the kind of person you are, because I always check to see
Yep.
what kind of music everybody likes.
Do you ever play Elvis? Say yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, we've
You
had
answered
sessions
good.
where it was always just Elvis,
Wait, are you being serious?
and then we had to do
Is
the
he being
hips,
serious?
right?
No, I
gotta-
still can't tell. Married almost 19 years,
That's
still
right.
can't tell.
Because that's what you do at home, right?
Great. That's right.
You
Heard
swing
it
the
here
hips.
with Elvis, baby. Come on.
We got to get it
Come on,
done. Got to
honey.
get it done.
That's great.
The real fun in his sessions is that he's a total wise ass.
We love that, though.
I think that's really
And ass is the only word we're allowed to say
That's
on
right.
the show.
I knew that. I paid attention.
go,
I knew
okay?
that. That's why I would let
That's
myself
great.
say
But
it.
I'm in there while Joe's, I'm
Right.
doing the counseling, and then you could hear Joe with his clients and the music going. But it's that sense of comfort for his clients, or all of them, because some people don't like to be at a gym with a lot of people. It's very intimidating. The machines are intimidating, or not knowing how to do the exercise. So Joe makes it very welcoming for them to learn the proper technique and avoiding injury.
So tell us a little bit about your life.
My life.
Bring us up to date.
How I got started?
Yes.
So I've always been a very picky eater, so I apologize to my mother. The arguments we used to get into when I was little, trying to make me eat something I did not want to eat, but I like good food. And I've always loved my mother's food, who was good food. And she'd be like, let's order out. No, because then it was that processed food, soggy food in the packaging, food that just didn't taste like mom's. So when I wanted to go to school, I did not know what I wanted to do, which was very tough. I did medical billing for years while I was taking community college classes, and then I took a career test, and it came with nutrition. I'm like, yes, this is me. Like, so I finally found my niche, and that's the joke of the family, though, because who's the pickiest eater now teaches people how to eat. But that's when I get
Yeah,
the
I
little
love that.
kids that come to me,
Yes.
or my eating disorder clients, it's learning, is this like part of your eating disorder, why you don't like to eat that, or it's just like a food preference? And I tell my clients, you're not coming in here to on my diet. It's your diet. It's what you like to eat, and it's learning how to eat so that you feel fuel, energy as your main source, and that you make sure you have enough coming in so that enough is going out. So I'm a very private person, but you have to talk about people, about how the body processes all the food that you eat and drink, making sure that you're drinking enough fluid and hydrating. A lot of people want to avoid eating all day because they want to lose weight, and then they're hangry. And they're hungry, they're stressed, their anxiety levels, they become nutrient deficient, vitamin D deficient. You see that a lot.
Did you have an eating disorder?
No,
Okay.
just picky eater.
Just a picky eater. My cousin, the reason I'm asking is my cousin, we're the same age, we grew up together in New York, and she still probably has, and she has an eating disorder. She's like very, very, very thin, and this has been going on since school. She was a little overweight when we were growing up, and that's what created it. So she's been dealing with it forever, but she acknowledges it, and it is what it is for her.
Yeah. And to what Joe was saying, all that's out there on social media, I had a young eating disorder girl tell me she was no longer going to drink tea. And I was like, why aren't you drinking tea? She's like, well, tea's fattening. So pull up on the computer, tea label, there's no fat in it. And, through educating her, come to me with any questions that you're seeing on social media that I can answer them all for you. And she said to me in response, I need to get off social media because of what's being portrayed out there was inaccurate information. And body image, right, what Joe's working with, all the filters that are out there, they think that that's the way somebody really looks and why their body can't look that way. And so that they come to me, if we're discussing weight, it's what's a healthy weight for you, or it's just, a lot of my clients don't have a number, they just want to feel healthy.
Right. My Nonna, I always go back to my Nonna because she died at 100 years old.
Wow.
And my dad's family was from Italy, and she was that short, heavy Italian lady in a house dress. I don't even know. I can't even give you a number. I'm terrible at all that. But she lived to 100. Everything she ate was healthy. Everything she ate was real food from their garden. I mean, never had processed food in her life, So I try to talk to young people, especially young people, about their image. Because it's very difficult these days with everything that's going on.
Absolutely.
And we don't want to promote obesity because
Right.
I had another client. All right, so we're talking about all this, so I'm just going to say it. I had another client who was a little obese and got upset because I wouldn't promote obesity as okay. Because if you want to look obese, I'm not saying you don't look, you're not a beautiful person. I'm talking about from a health perspective.
Yes.
Right. Yep.
It's so difficult today. You're right. Social media with everything that's going on, right?
Yeah, so I can have clients improve their health, their lipid panel, their diabetes, go from a diabetic range, pre-diabetic range to normal. The weight may still be elevated, but they're healthier. And then it's that conversion, right, Joe, from fat to muscle. I had a client that lost 70 pounds. So if you try to convert that for every 8 to 10 pounds is an inch lost, it's not going to equate that way, because then she lost 10 pounds for that. She'd be down 170 pounds,
Okay.
right? So
Right.
that's not going to
Okay.
equate, but her inches are down, and she's down all of these inches, so that's where she's able to see the difference in her health and
Good.
her lab values.
Beautiful. Wow, that's beautiful. So, your clients, they start from an early age, so you have some very young ones?
Yep, I can have young clients. My youngest one now, I have the wonderful parents who went through infertility treatment.
Okay.
And then now I have the daughter come in. So sweet. She gave me a little hug the other day.
I love it.
Just making the parents are concerned. They want her to be healthy, and they want to know, is this being a picky eater? Is it her growing? Educating them. There's different times of day they could be hungrier, looking at their sleep patterns, their diapers, their elimination. If the parents don't want them to become a picky eater, want them to become obese or have health concerns. Yeah.
So I want you to look into the camera and tell people that are listening, because there are people out there, and I know them personally, who are telling their little kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old little kids, little girls mostly,
Okay.
or boys, don't eat that, you're going to get fat. Give them advice as why that's not okay.
Because it's not okay, because they come in and tell me as adults that they have severe food restrictions and low body image and low self-esteem from their parents telling them that. And it's something that's been said to them over and over, and so they relive it in their mind over and over more than when the parents have said it. With every day, with every meal, they're reliving it. Yeah, it's very challenging.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, but it's encouraging them to have fruits, have vegetables, and finding ways to make them that are enjoyable. It's not saying you can never have those items. It's just, like we said earlier, it's not every day is a birthday, but sometimes that's all people are exposed to, especially when they're working. Who's bringing in the leftover cake from the party
yeah.
they were at, stopping at Dunkin' Donuts, in the morning, and then lunch celebration and having ice cream, and, coming home to dinner, and it's another celebration. So it's wonderful that we're all together and able to celebrate and see each other now, but it can't just be every day is a celebration.
What I want to say, and then we're going to get to you, sweetheart. What I want to say is this for everyone out there. The food is an issue. The food is an issue, okay? Especially anything processed today. If it's not organic, I know it's expensive, okay? But when I used money for drugs, that was okay. And when you're using money for smoking and for drinking and partying, that's okay. And all the crap you're buying, okay? Add that up, okay? So try your best to eat as much organic, USDA grade organic as possible. Not if a label just says organic or natural. Do not do that. All right? So try your best, because what they're putting in our food, and they're doing it on purpose. I've been all over the world. I went to Russia in the 80s, had machine guns pointed at me. I went to China in the 80s on a health tour with Lenox Hill Hospital back in the day. And let me tell you what I learned then, and that's what got me into all this. McDonald's just opened up in Japan when we were there in the 80s. So of course all the Americans are like, we got to go see McDonald's. So they take us by bus. My cousin orders a soda and spits it out, a Coke. Says, oh my God, this is terrible. So I don't drink soda, never did, but I tasted it. I was like, oh my gosh. Well, the tour guide laughed and she said, this is where your eyes are going to be opened. If these companies, any of them, Starbucks, McDonald's, okay, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, any of them want to come to our countries, they have to change their formulas to meet our needs.
Yeah.
So in our country, there's 9 1/4 teaspoons of high fructose corn syrup in 1 can of Coke here. It's not even sugar anymore. They have 1 teaspoon of sugar in their cans all over. I was in Australia behind the scenes at a McDonald's watching them crack open organic eggs, okay, guys? So,
Wow.
yes, their coffee and tea bar, all organic, even in Starbucks in Australia. So, Just be aware, because what they also do is this, and you know, nothing that I'm saying she doesn't know and you probably don't know, but I'm talking for these people that are listening because this is important. Even the aisles of the food, okay? If you want to understand something, go down a cereal aisle, go down a candy aisle. They make sure all the junk is where your child in that car can grab. They make sure of that. Okay? So the sugar, read the labels. Our brain is only fueled by two things: healthy fat, which heals your brain, and sugar, which kills it. That's the only two things that can fuel your brain. And everything has high fructose corn syrup in it now. It's not even real sugar, guys. So please read labels. Please be aware, because we've never, ever, I grew up and maybe one or two kids in my school had issues, and I can see their faces, okay? Today, I ran the food system in the Robbinsville schools, tables, peanut table
Yes.
here, allergy table here, ADD here. Think about what's happening today. It's not just a coincidence, okay? Think about what's happening. It didn't just happen. So I just had to say that because I'm very passionate about this as well, and we need to take this more seriously for our children. Okay, as adults, do what you want to do, but you should be healthy for your kids. I just had to say that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just had to say that. So this is beautiful what you're doing as well with the kids. All right, let's get to you, and then I'll get to all three, because I'll have more questions. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, like I said, I've been a mental health counselor, a licensed professional counselor for, I think, like 20 some years at this point. And while I love what I do, I too, in different ways, kind of found that the mental health system is very medical model and problem oriented.
Okay.
And so in sharing the spirit of what we're all talking about in terms of shifting toward wellness, I felt like I needed to add on to my scope of practice to help balance out what I was doing.
Okay.
And so that's where I kind of dipped my toe into life coaching. And what I liked about that is that it felt more goal-oriented, forward-focused. And so I now I kind of have a good balance of both, serving counseling clients and serving coaching clients. And I guess around the time that Joe was kind of dipping his toe into the fitness
A lot of toe dipping
world,
going on.
we were just dipping our toes, was when I was kind of shifting into coaching. And so it all just kind of had this synergy. And so what I'll say about that is, not everyone needs therapy, but I think everyone can benefit from mind health. And I think so much of what we do really comes back to how we think about it, and so much of how we experience things and feel comes back to how we think about it. And I think so many people don't realize that they have agency there. They have the ability to choose how they're going to think and view things that are happening in their life or in the world, and what they want to do next and who they want to be next. And I think in terms of sustainable change, which is really, I think, what we're all kind of about, a lot of that comes back to mindset. To echo what Angela was talking about with, and everything, 100% everything that you were saying about when we're telling our kids, don't eat that, you're going to be fat, or whatever we're telling them, if we're focusing on what we think the problem is, instead of teaching them how to be well, then we're putting them in a situation where there's this start and stop cycle always for them, where they're trying to, it's almost like a deprivation, right, from a psychological perspective. There's this deprivation that they're feeling placed in that now they have to fill with something else. And it's over and over and over again. And this is why we see a start and stop cycle of health and growth and change. And so, I think we all kind of circle back to a place where we're looking at incremental changes and what's going to be sustainable. And that's going to be different for everybody. There's not a one size fits all for that. So it's really about getting to know a person, their whole being, what's going on up here, how they're feeling in their body, what they're doing in their lifestyle. And I think in terms of our clients, most of the success comes from when we share a client. So they're getting it
Yeah.
Okay.
on each.
So we have a question
End.
then about that, and then you can continue. So all the clients that come in are shared?
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No,
Continue.
but we do
Collaborate.
sometimes,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
definitely
Collaborate, yeah.
collaborate.
Okay.
I have a very busy counseling practice that oftentimes they're coming in for therapy, and through the course of therapy, what's realized is there's some lifestyle changes that need to happen. Enter Angela with
Yep.
nutrition.
Yes.
Enter Joe with, physical activity. And that's where you really see someone have that aha moment and things start to shift in their life. And similarly, I think each of you have had people come in looking for a change and starting there and realizing that there are some
Yes.
maybe defeating self-beliefs that need to get worked out, or patterns in just habits and things like that, we all go back to things that feel comfortable, even if they don't make us happy or well. And so it takes a minute to sit back with that and have someone help them, guide them through it. So that I kind of got off the topic of my own journey, but that's basically, I think at some point in my counseling career, which again, I do very much love, it got heavy for me.
Okay.
And I needed to feel like there was something that could balance that out, that was more solution focused, more goal oriented, and more about looking at the possibilities instead of the problems. And so, that's where Mind by Jen and the mindset coaching comes in.
Then I have to ask you a personal question, and you can answer it. You can say, Jerry, I'd rather not answer. It's okay. Did you have issues growing up that got you where you thought now you wanted to help other people
As a therapist?
as a child?
No, but no more than anybody else.
Oh, okay,
You know?
okay. Yeah.
But back then, that was kind of normal,
Yes.
Today, we've lost our ability to kind of, I think, cope with with a lot of things in life.
No, we absolutely have, girlfriend. Come on.
If Amazon, or YouTube can't fix it real quick, then we have a problem.
Okay.
But no, my parents divorced when I was a teenager, but I think really what it was, and I've told this story many times, I was born into a grieving family. 6 months before I was born, my aunt, who was only 19, died in a car accident,
That's
tragically.
heartbreaking. So sorry, yes.
And though I didn't know her, I think at a very, maybe even in utero, I don't know, just kind of picked up the grief of the family around me and became kind of just intuitively a person who was there to mend. I don't know if that makes any sense.
That makes sense.
So it's just wired in. at
So
this
it's
point.
innate. It's innate.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Sure, yeah.
All right. Normally, I read a poem towards the end, and I just found a different one I'm going to read. I was going to read a different one, but I think this one is needed based on everything we're talking about, okay? This one's called Face It Till You Make It. Okay? Fake it till you make it is a term heard so much. I don't really agree. It's living with a crutch. Not just for addiction, all life lessons, my friend. That's a sad in life to live until the end. I'd rather go by saying more real, face it till you make it, in spite of how you feel. We got to grow up, put our past behind. In spite of our hurts, there's greatness to find. I'd rather go through life smiling every day, holding up my chin, all good things to say. Positive thinking and actions likewise throw out a force up into the skies. What we project is what we will earn. Karma is real, and we each have a turn. Your thoughts are wired to make you think. With what you do can make you sink. So keep all your thoughts uplifting and real. Feeding your mind crap destroys how you feel. So don't put out crap. It comes back to bite. Stand up real tall and just fight the fight. I promise you this, if you face all your fears, it may be quite scary, but will add to your years. One day you'll be happy with who you now are. Just look at me, I've really come far. I look in the mirror and like what I see, but most important, I really love me.
Yeah.
And you know, guys,
Beautiful.
thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
And you know, God created everyone with something special.
Yes.
So make sure you understand that, okay? We're no more special than any of you, but we've all found maybe our calling and what, we need to do. That was actually the poem I was going to read, but this one was much more needed. And guys, I just want to say a couple more things. Age is just a number. It doesn't matter how old you are. I didn't write my first book. I was in my 50s. I didn't start doing radio till I was in my 50s. I mean, think about it. So age is just a number, okay, guys? So dig deep down inside if you're feeling depressed or if you're feeling not worthy, because you are worthy. And find something creative, something that will give you that passion, right?
That's right.
Because that's what's important. We all have to have that passion in what we do.
Absolutely.
So now, this guy right here. Yeah, this guy. I'll shave
Go
this.
ahead.
Listen, I had a beauty salon. I could shave that thing right off.
Threaten me with a good time.
So I want you to look into the camera, and I want you to give some positive energy. You can make eyes at them.
Can I?
Tell them something really positive that can uplift them about doing something with their life like you've done.
Like I've done. Well, I'm not one to be
A
a
little
prophet.
louder. Let them hear you.
I'm not one to be a prophet or a poet like you, because that was beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
But what I would suggest is, and even to touch on age is a number, because it's all it is. Like I mentioned before, I had a 73-year-old client
That's so cool.
who rocks it out every time he comes in. So take a moment, sit back, even if you have to look in the mirror, and just ask yourself a couple of questions. Like, who do you really want to be? And be honest with yourself. Who do you really want to be? And then just make that person happen. Whatever you need to do. Because you can. Because there's no limitations. The only limitation you have is yourself. You can't point the finger at anybody else. Nobody really makes you do anything. Make yourself do something. Change your body, if that's the thing. If you're tired of sitting around, move. Move. Even if it starts with squats and push-ups, I don't care. Everything has a starting point. And that's what I always find with my clients is where we're starting and where do you want to go? And let's get there. So do that for yourself. That's what I would suggest. That's what I would recommend.
That was beautiful. Thank you for that.
Welcome.
I became vegan 30 years ago, and I'm Italian, okay?
Oh, Brazil.
So imagine an Italian vegan.
Vegan.
My family wanted to kill me, okay? The majority of them all started eating like I eat. So that's funny. So never let anyone stop you, and never let anyone in your family make you feel like,
Yes.
you're not worthy or you're being stupid or because of your traditions. Don't worry about that. Okay? It's time that everyone breaks traditions that are not healthy for them, right?
Yeah. You
And-
own it.
right?
Yeah, you didn't have, there's a lot of vegan foods now, but like vegan cheese, they didn't have that, yeah.
Yeah?
Made a cashew.
Well, I
yeah, you can make
became
your own,
a
yeah.
vegan chef because I
Yeah.
had to make my own food.
That's taking it to the next level,
Yeah.
empowering yourself.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do it right.
Everyone out there has to understand that. All right, like people, and I'm sure you've heard this the most. People will say, "Well, it's in my family. It's generational. That's why I have this
Yes.
sickness or that." And it is. It is
Genetics,
generational.
yeah.
But break the cycle.
Yep.
You have to stand up and say, "I don't want this anymore. I'm going to change." Because your family does eat, right? The same way for generations and generations does the same
Yeah.
things, right?
Yes.
So, all right, we still have a few minutes, guys. And I want each one of you again to take the mic because you're really helping people out there. So we're going to start with you now, sweetheart. So take a couple minutes. I don't want you to say, oh, I should have said this, or I forgot to say that about my business or what I'm doing. And I want you to give them your website, all that. Tell them how they can get in touch with you and how you can help them. Look into the camera.
Okay. My website is nutritionistangela.com. The one thing I did say was about not knowing what I wanted to do in my profession, and I did medical billing, which led me right to know how to work with insurance companies. I'm a participating insurance provider with most of the plans in New Jersey, so looking at what your insurance benefits are, but to empower you to stop that cycle of overeating, undereating, and just using food as fuel, using food as medicine to feel well. And it's all about the foods that you love and that will provide the nourishment to sustain and support your body so that you feel healthy, you feel fueled, and you're without deficiencies.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Amazing. Sweetheart, you're next. Give them information, how to get in touch with you, and why they should.
Well, okay, so we have in the mind aspect of our business, we have both counseling and coaching. Counseling, you can go to the jcorecounseling.com website to get more information. We do work with certain insurances, and we are right here in Bordentown City, and we do both in-person and virtual. I have a team of 8 or 9 therapists at this point, I lose count sometimes, who are highly qualified and just special people. And I promise you, you will feel a warm welcome if that is the route that you feel like you need to take. And for some people, there's a time and a place for it, absolutely. Yep. As I said before, not everyone needs therapy, but everyone can benefit from focusing on your mind health. And what I mean by that is, we all know that in order to keep our bodies strong, we have to take care of it. We have to do, exercises. We have to, make it move and stretch and do all those things. But I think sometimes we don't realize in order to keep our minds strong, we have to do the same kinds of things. There's practices every day that I use, that I guide and coach my clients to use to help them stay in a place of knowing their self-worth and knowing that they can, achieve the things that they want to in life. And so if you're looking more for that aspect, I'd encourage you to go to my website, mindbyjen.com, Mind by Jen, all one word. And that is solely focused on mindset coaching. And when you go there, I do a weekly blog. We do have an Instagram because, I concur with everything we've said about social media. I decided that I was going to jump into social media, but to try to send out something more positive and more helpful to people. So at Mind by Jen is Instagram. And so you'll see posts there every Monday, Wednesday with tips and tools, and the weekly blog, as I said. And then also if you go to my website, you will see an online course that is available on that website. And it's really about sustainable change, mindset practices for sustainable change. So,
Wow.
Yeah, come check it out.
I love this. So now, let's go, baby. Your turn. Come on.
Well, I don't know how to follow that up with other
know,
than
right?
pick it
Look at
up
these
and put it
ladies.
down. Pick it up and put it down. Repeat. Wow.
Look at these ladies. How are you going to top this?
I don't know. Let's do this.
All right.
jcorellc.com is the website. You can find all of us on there for contact. But I would just say 609-954-3918. Call me, text me. We'll get you set up. It all starts with an assessment, and it's free. If you want to see where your body is right now, and you're thinking about making a change, let's just see where you're at. And whether you work with me or I say go to a gym, go try this, or set you up with a program to start, it's what I'm about. You don't have to work out with me. But if you do, it's great. I have a basic program, but if that doesn't work with you, I'm always flexible and we can customize. Future, we're looking to do some podcasting once I figure out how to do it, and it'll be fun and it'll be very informative because it'll have both sides of it, and we'll have guests like the nutritionist Angela Santoro and our lovely host for today will be on as well, Geri. Which I have to say, thank you for having us on today. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yes.
Being able to promote ourselves with this, and looking forward to what the future has to bring for us.
Well, Hamilton Radio is definitely going to help you with this podcast thing, okay?
Appreciate it.
Okay, because you need it. You guys are amazing. And social media, I only use it for good.
Yes.
And,
Good.
I just want to encourage everybody out there, once in a while, I might post like a family photo, but I don't really do that much either. And once in a while, a silly joke, it's usually about guys, but it's clean and funny and right to the point. But that's about it. Everything else is business. So if we use it for good, social media could be incredible, guys.
Yeah.
Stop with the nonsense and the craziness and the debating and the garbage, please. Okay, let's clean it up. So you were talking about being worthy and all that. One of my slogans is KYW, know your worth, because everybody has it, okay? You're not worthless. What you guys are doing is incredible, and I want to thank you as well, and I want to thank you,
Thank
girl,
you.
and I want to thank you for being here, because this is what it's about, making everybody healthier mentally, physically, everything. Okay, that should be everyone's goal. Okay, and again, if you're an adult and you don't really care about yourself, okay, but do you have any children? Because they need you. So think about that, okay? Ruben, I think I'm going to do something different. We don't have to close out with my theme song. I'm compelled. I got to read another poem. So I'm going to read one more poem, and that's how we're going to close today, okay? No theme song. Here we go. So this poem is important because we're talking about how everybody is worth it. So this one is called Utilizing Gifts and Talents. Everyone has it. We all have gifts and talents, right?
Yes.
You got to figure out what it is and just do it. So here we go. We are born with talents. We are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used, God's gift to us not be abused. We can go far in life for sure using our gifts to go on tour. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score. You see, in life what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. Don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back, or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share. Our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened, and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, guys, your names will live forever, forever and a day. So go through life excited for what you sure can give. To yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. So make sure people smile with the breaking dawn. And that's what you guys are doing. You guys are making
Beautiful.
people smile. People that probably felt at one point
Yep.
they couldn't smile anymore.
Yes.
So I really want to say thank you to you three for being on the show,
thank
for
you.
honoring us here at Hamilton Radio. These guys are amazing. Please, please, please look them up. Come to this. Listen, I'll make a deal with you, okay? If you guys look them up and you come to this building, we'll get you on camera. We'll get you on camera, okay?
How do you beat that?
Come on,
Yeah.
baby. All right, they're in our building. That's right. Okay? Please, I'm urging all of you because everyone, listen, the last few years have been tough for everyone, right? So everyone needs to smile now. Everyone needs to know that something good is going to happen to them. If you're feeling like there's nothing good happening, these guys can help you. So please, please, please reach out. Thank you, Ruben and Doc G, the producers
Thank
and the
you.
owners
Thank you.
here. All right. Take us out, Ruben. Let's go.
Let's go.
We should be done. Da, 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 da. And I think we're good. All right, yay.